Thanks for tuning in to Everyday Persuasion. I'm Brendan Lupetin, a medical malpractice and personal injury lawyer who is obsessed with the power of persuasion and the impact it has on our everyday lives. Everyday Persuasion provides you quick, practical psychology tips to help you thrive in everyday life. Let's check it out. Don't feel obligated, but if you're new to the channel, please consider clicking the subscribe button below. That way you'll get updates about new videos I release in the future. What if I told you there was a psychology hack that's simple to implement and is so powerful that scientific research has shown that it increases the tips for wait servers who use it by 20% on average? Today on Everyday Persuasion, we're going to talk about a powerful persuasion technique called reciprocity. Reciprocity is our tendency to reciprocate the actions of others towards us, and oftentimes creates a wave of indebtedness, even from very, very small things that one person does for us. A great example from TV that perfectly and humorously highlights the power of reciprocity is from Seinfeld, when Jerry gets a suit, quote, for free from a fellow comedian, Kenny Bania.
Hey, Armani, Jerry.
Yes, yeah. I heard.
Come on, try it on.
No, it's okay.
No, come on, I want to see how it fits.
All right.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, boy, look at that. That looks great, huh? I can't believe you're giving him this.
I don't even want anything for it.
Jerry then finds out that Kenny wants him to take him to dinner. And even though Jerry can't stand this guy and would never want to go to dinner with him under any other circumstances, he feels compelled, indebted because of the power of reciprocity to pay Kenny back. And in fact, he actually buys him a lunch at one point, and Bania says that isn't the equivalent of a dinner. And still, Seinfeld feels compelled to take him to the dinner. And it just goes to show how strongly we feel the need to repay. A small favor, a small gesture that somebody does for us can lead to a very large response in return. I want to talk a little bit about the interesting research behind the reciprocity bias. So with reciprocity, it has to do with somebody giving you something and then you feeling a response to give something back. So could it be that that's partly due to just simply liking the other person? Because I like them, I want to do something nice for them, versus that dreadful feeling like Jerry Seinfeld felt to pay back the suit that he got from Bania. So some scientists actually specifically conducted research to figure that out. And what they did was they brought people in to do a survey, but the experiment was not about the survey. After a little while, the survey conductor came up to them and asked them, would you consider also buying some raffle tickets from me? And they found in that group, when it was just people were there and then they're suddenly being asked to buy raffle tickets and nothing had really been done for them, that the response rate was about 10 to 15% that people actually bought the raffle tickets. In the experimental group, what they did was they had the conductor go in and first set up the survey. Then he leaves and he comes back a little bit later with 2 cans of Coke in his hands. And he tells the participants, hey, the vending machine gave me an extra can of Coke. Would you like it? Here you go. And he gives them this small innocuous gift of a random free can of Coke. He comes back a little bit later, asks to see if the people would be interested in buying the raffle tickets. And now the interest rate and the response rate goes from about 15% up to 45%. And the reason being that the people felt indebted. Did it have to do because they liked the guy because he gave them Coke, or did they feel the indebtedness? So what the experimenters did was that they had people fill out surveys, actually as part of the survey, about how they liked or perceived the person that was running the experiment. And what they found was that people actually liked this person more when they did not receive the free can of Coke. And their liking of this conductor, the experimenter, went down when they were given the Coke, and presumably because now they felt that sense of indebtedness that, oh gosh, now I have to repay this. So that helped confirm the fact that it's not really about the liking. It's about that you now feel indebtedness and you must make things right. And because nobody likes that feeling, the actually liking factor went down. There was a separate set of experiments in the restaurant server context, and what they were interested in finding out was how the power of reciprocity applied to the extent of tips that servers got in a restaurant. And so they suspected that things like writing a little smiley face or making a pleasant comment to the customers would increase tips, and generally it did. When they had a server do none of those general pleasantries, faces, no smiley faces, nothing unusually nice or pleasant. The tips were the lowest that they were across the board. And then when the server would do something small, like be pleasant, would make small talk, would be complimentary to the people, their tip rate would go up a little bit. But where they saw the biggest jumps is when the server would make a show about the little gifts that they were giving the customers. So first, there was a significant jump in the tip rate when the server would say, for you special folks, I'm going to give you these candies. But the biggest jump of all was when the server would leave the tip, put a candy on it, and make a point about the candy, proceed to walk away only to turn around and make a show of the fact to the customers that they're now turning around to do something more, saying, oh, for you folks, here's a few more pieces of candy. What they found was that the tips compared to the control group increased by 25%. Now imagine from a server's perspective how much money that could equate to over the course of a week, a month, or a year. So how can you use reciprocity to your benefit in everyday life? The main thing is giving people small things for free and making a little bit of a show out of it. For example, as a trial lawyer, I can't give something to the jury, but what I can give them is their time back. And so I can tell them an opening statement and closing argument that I made the case as short and sweet as possible to give them their time back, which in hopes they're going to reciprocate with a positive verdict for me. You can apply it to all sorts of things in your life. One is giving something, but you can also do it by making concessions. So one example in a psychology book that I read is the little kid that comes up to somebody and says, hey sir, will you buy 50 raffle tickets? And the person says no. And then the child retreats and says, well, then would you at least consider buying a chocolate bar? And the chances of that chocolate bar being purchased go significantly up compared to if the chocolate bar was the first thing. But the point there being, it was a concession. You can also think about that in any type of a negotiation where you can indicate to the other person, hey look, I've dropped my position, I've come off of my initial thought. Now, reciprocation, you should be doing the same. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about other psychology hacks and the research behind them, please check out my other videos on everyday persuasion. Until next time, I'm Brendan Lupetin with Everyday Persuasion. Thanks for watching.